This is a presentation on Sundown Bakery case study by Sydney Montgomery, David Brown, and Amanda Greenwood. Sundown Bakery is owned by Carol and Bruce. They quickly began expanding their business. Bruce hired Maurice as an assistant who supervised the ovens. When Carol became too busy to supervise the shop, they hired Kim and Marina. They then added 2 new shops and 2 kiosks to local malls. Carol and Bruce hired Hans Nicholson as an operations manager. Hans had been a manager of a national chain of coffee shops and had a lot of new ideas to help improve the operation of the growing business. He launched a website, added more drinks and meal items, implemented a dress code, and put together an employee handbook. Hans announced all the changes through memos. The growth of the company led to a lot of changes, including the loss of the family feeling. This also caused less give and take of the ideas between the owners and employees. The employees that had been with Sundown Bakery since expansion were outraged with the use of new management. Another issue arose in that they had some cultural diversity within their workplace and they lacked cultural sensitivity. Carol and Bruce were aware of the problems and communication errors, but they were unsure how to resolve the issues.
Sundown Bakery, owned by Carol and Bruce, has obvious fundamental issues, arguably all stemming from a severe lack in communication. Admittedly, their communication issues span further than what is addressed in our assessment. However, as a team, we determined the most critical issues affecting Sundown Bakery is from their lack of or ineffective written communication, their lack of cultural sensitivity and awareness, and their inability to foster upward communication. According to Anton Vidova, some of the top critical communication issues in the workplace are cultural differences and poorly written communication. He states, if your materials are poorly written, your messages might cause confusion and frustration amongst your staff members. Vidovin, 2020. It is safe to say that is exactly what has taken place at Sundown Bakery. The first communication issue we will be addressing is the lack of written communication. Sundown Bakery started off as a small mom-and-pop shop type bakery. Their items were in high demand and led to a rapid growth they simply just were not prepared for. The bakery fell short in their written communication, allowing for a lack of continuity from bakeries and kiosks. This lack of written communication in the form of operating procedures also allowed for a decrease in awareness of roles and responsibilities. Without these roles and responsibilities, individuals began to act and communicate in ways Carol and Bruce never intended. Team Annihilation chose to assign roles and responsibilities on behalf of Sundown Bakery based off findings from TrueScore.com. According to TrueScore.com, there are multiple benefits of assigning roles and responsibilities. First, everyone knows what to do. Everyone is aware of their own job, others' expectations of them, and how to act within an organization. Second, everything gets done. All tasks in the workflow process are accounted for, preventing gaps in the process flow. Third, people work better together. There is greater positional awareness, decreasing the chance of power struggle. Fourth, less energy is wasted. Not only is there a decrease in expended energy from employees, but there is also less waste of resources for the company. Originally, Carol and Bruce were involved in multiple roles throughout the organization. During our analysis of assigning roles and responsibilities, we found it more conducive for Carol and Bruce to focus on higher level concerns, in turn, reducing resource waste and creating vision among the organization. When Hans joined the organization, he came with great ideas, but due to the lack of an assigned box, he was unaware of his reach, and the employees below him were just as confused by receiving guidance and information from him. This newly defined role for Hans will help reduce the power struggle TrueScore.com warned of in the absence of assigned roles and responsibilities. Maurice will serve as the position of master baker, without the continual interjection of Bruce, fostering trust and confidence in Maurice from Carol and Bruce. As you can see on the slide, there is currently not a sales manager nor a production manager. Through our analysis, Team Annihilation was able to determine a gap in process flow. Team Annihilation is recommending Sundown Bakery hire 2 new individuals to their team. This will help reduce stress on both Carol and Bruce to allow them to focus on their vision. As stated by Johnny Duncan, clear vision that every team member must possess doesn't simply happen by osmosis. It must be communicated, disseminated, reiterated at least weekly, and for some, daily. Allowing Carol and Bruce to focus on vision and higher level concerns gives them the ability to diagnose and treat issues within their organization, fostering alignment throughout the team.
When the owners, Bruce and Carol, first started expanding, they got busy with other things and were taking on other tasks than being at the bakery. This created a few problems with the employees that they hired, which were from other countries with a different mind frame and a whole new different set of beliefs and values that were not being paid attention to. Things got busy and a little confusion started to ensue. Charles Kettering once said that a problem well stated is a problem half solved. The first step would be to recognize the problem, which would be the differences between all employees in the company. Next step is to respect the differences and be open with each other about how decisions are made, how multiple problems are not being handled correctly, and to try to understand everybody's differences in all subjects and how they react to them. Next is to reconcile the differences and make changes and ask employees if something can be done more efficiently and without stepping on anyone's toes, so to speak. Diversity in the workplace also includes people who have cognitive and physical disabilities, as well as differences in sexual orientation. Team Annihilation wants to implement a monthly meeting on cultural awareness, starting with a cultural workshop. This will lead to a higher cultural competency and will take on most of the day and will be a benefit for everyone to take this first step in becoming a better organization with a well-outfitted team. Here is a rough schedule of how the workshop will work, affording the time. And here is the cultural workshop schedule. Starting at 8 a.m. and going till about 10, there will be a meeting with everyone to get a good picture of the cultural problems that Sundown has at current time. Team Annihilation will have a representative to meet with everyone and get opinions out in the open. This will be a good time for everyone to vent their frustrations and opinion to get things moving in the right direction. After that, starting at 10 and going till about noon, will be an explanation of some differences in cultures across the world. Our cross-cultural representative will explain the differences and a few examples of cultural differences across the globe. These differences range from differences in religions, values, belief systems, and etiquette, just to name a few. And then we'll have a lunch break right there in the middle, and then starting at 1 and going to 3 p.m., there will be a one-on-one roundtable. And this meeting will be 2 people in a group, learning and talking about their own culture so the other person can better understand one another's differences. By understanding someone else's position, you can better be equipped to make better decisions through the creative process of building an efficient team. And starting at about 3 in the afternoon and going till about 5 p.m., we've got professionalism and cultural competency. Professionalism has some characteristics such as behaving morally and ethically, maintaining your poise, being confident and not arrogant, using the right tone and phone etiquette, structured and organized, owning up to mistakes, and doing what you say that you will do. Cultural competency cannot be achieved overnight. This is a process that individuals go through over time. The Diversity Officer magazine describes cultural competency as and abilities to successfully negotiate cross-cultural differences in order to accomplish practical goals. In the next slide, we talk about the benefits of a culturally aware team. Lauren Clark from 6Q said that the benefits of a culturally aware workforce will pay its dividends in lots of different areas, including increased productivity and profits, improved company reputation, and cultural insights, as well as a better employee creativity and a wider range of skills and lower employee turnover. Having these benefits are immeasurable. These benefits will add up to a very specialized and efficient and diverse workforce. When you invest time and resources into improving your company, the positives will outweigh the negatives by a considerable margin. This will benefit the company psychologically as well. This is not magic. You just must go through the steps to become a great workforce. This can attract new customers as well as keep your loyal base, and they will witness the change and feel more comfortable in buying your products and services. Maureen Wild said that when employees respect each other and get along in the workforce, it's amazing how productivity increases, morale increases, and employees are more courteous to customers. Next slide is benefits of a culturally aware team. Lauren Clark from 6Q said that the benefits of a culturally aware workforce will pay its dividends in lots of different areas, including increased productivity and profits, improved company reputation and cultural insights, as well as better employee creativity and a wider range of skills and lower employee turnover. Having these benefits are immeasurable. These benefits will add up to a very specialized, efficient, and diverse workforce. When you invest time and resources into improving your company, the positives will outweigh the negatives by a considerable margin. This will benefit the company psychologically as well. This is not magic. You just must go through the steps to become a great workforce. This can attract new customers as well as keep your loyal base, and they will witness the change and feel more comfortable in buying your products and services. Maureen Wild said that when employees respect each other and get along in the workplace, it's amazing how productivity increases, morale increases, and employees are more courteous to customers.
As Carol and Bruce began expanding, they hired Hans as an operational manager to help take some weight off their shoulders. Hans implemented a new dress code as well as created an employee handbook. Hans communicated these changes through memo, which caused current employees to feel resentment towards the new use of management. Due to the lack of upward communication, they were unable to give feedback as well as their frustrations to Carol and Bruce. Upward communication flows to a higher level in the group or organization. It's used to provide feedback to higher-ups, inform them of progress towards goals, and relay current problems. Robbins and Judge, 2017. Without the use of upward communication, Carol and Bruce had no idea that the employees were feeling frustrated and resentful. To prevent this from happening in the future, we suggest Carol and Bruce implement monthly skip-level meetings. A skip-level meeting is when higher-up management meets with employees. This type of meeting will allow the employees to give feedback, build trust, and improve communication, all while keeping both the owners and employees aware of what is going on. At my place of work, we have implemented skip-level meetings on the third Friday of every month. We break these meetings up into teams we are in. As a part of the escrow team, we have a skip-level meeting with the owner of the company. In this meeting, we can express to many thoughts or concerns we have about how things have been going. This has allowed us to build trust with our boss as well as not be so intimidated by him when going to speak with him when needed. Communication throughout the entire workplace has never been better since we started doing monthly skip-level meetings. Skip-level meetings were an idea of one of the escrow agents. After speaking with the owner about possibly implementing skip-level meetings, he thought that was a good idea and told us that worked out and let him know what the plan was. Before skip-level meetings were implemented, we found issues with things being taken care of. For example, one team member would call in multiple days a week, but the manager would just brush it off. Once the owner found out about this, he spoke with that team member and put them on a probation period. This is one of many reasons that skip-level meetings were implemented into my workplace. Sundown addressing these critical issues is the start of Sundown becoming a competent business organization. Implementation of and operating procedures, cultural awareness workshops, and skip-level meetings increases communications on multiple levels. The company will now have lateral, downward, and upward communication lines, increasing cohesiveness throughout the company.